Dear friends, in today's lecture, we will study sensory evaluation of dairy products. Sensory evaluation is a science. In this, we study different aspects of food such as flavor, body and texture, color and appearance. These properties are sensed by different organs like nose can sense aroma, tongue can sense taste, our eyes can see color and appearance of product. This science has started since industrialization of food processing industry. It is widely used during development of new products. When as a consumer we try to consume any new product, we look for its palatability first. The wholesomeness of food as well as its nutritional properties are secondary. But if the product is not palatable, it is not going to be sold into the market. So this lecture is very important to understand various sensory aspects of dairy and food products. So now let us start with introduction of sensory evaluation of dairy products. The sensory quality of food products has been considered an important factor since the beginning of food industrialization. For the consumers, the eating quality attributes such as aroma, taste, its aftertaste, textural properties, and appearance are the deciding factors in food acceptance. The quality is that which the consumers like best, and the grades of quality are understood more by the degree of desirable attributes and absence of undesirable characteristics or defects. Thus, the primary consideration for selecting and eating a food commodity is the palatability or eating quality first, and other quality parameters such as nutrition and wholesomeness are secondary. Sensory analysis is used to characterize and measure sensory attributes of products. Sensory analysis is the description and scientific measurement of attributes of a product perceived by the senses of human such as sight, sound, smell, taste and touch. By understanding sensory data, one can offer food product development guidelines as to which property should be emphasized when making food development decisions. This decision process includes processing ingredients and economic consideration. Not merely food tasting, it can involve describing food color as well as texture, flavor, aftertaste, aroma, tactile responses, and even auditory responses. Sometimes sensory analysis is used interchangeably with sensory evaluation. Now let us discuss definition of sensory evaluation. Sensory evaluation has been defined as scientific discipline used to evoke, measure, analyze and interpret reactions to those properties of foods and materials as they are perceived by senses of sight, smell, taste, touch and hearing. The objectives of sensory evaluations. Different components which form a foundation for an effective sensory evaluation program are approved goals and objectives, which are well-defined program strategy, professional staff, suitable test facilities, and qualified test subject. The objectives of sensory evaluation are described here. The objective of sensory evaluation is to study the sensory evaluation of dairy products for use of research. Suppose someone is introducing or developing a new product, the sensory evaluation of that product is very important as the product should be palatable to the end user, that is customer. To provide useful and timely information and recommendation about sensory evaluation of the dairy products. The other objectives are to develop methods and procedure relating sensory and analytical information for use in research, quality control as well as quality assurance. To demonstrate the methods used for sensory evaluation of dairy products. Other objective of sensory evaluation is to describe correct procedures for sensory evaluation of dairy products. To maintain awareness of new product development in product evaluation and their application, and to find out most cost effective and efficient method to obtain most sensory information. Now, why this is important? Sensory evaluation of dairy or food product is very important. The role of sensory evaluation is to provide valid and reliable information to the research department, production and marketing in order to management to make sound business decisions about perceived sensory properties of the product. It also helps in cost saving by correlating sensory properties with instrumental physical or chemical analysis. Moreover, following points are equally important in sensory evaluation. The first one is man has well developed likes and dislikes for dairy products depending upon their palatability. Secondary, sensory evaluation will become paramount importance with increasing consumer awareness towards nutrition and quality. The third important point is sensory evaluation also assists in measuring the eating quality of any food product. It is also giving information about coordination of instrumental and sensory measurement methods. Where no signal appears, our senses may still perceive an odor or taste. If we are using some analytical method to detect any odor or taste, certain instruments have limitation, but our senses are so precise and perfect that they are able to perceive very small amount of taste as well as odor. And our senses will give a total impression of quality. The instrument may give us idea about single parameter, whereas our senses will give cumulative impression of a quality of that product. Now coming to the application part of sensory evaluation. Sensory evaluation can be applied in the following areas in dairy industry. First application is inspection of raw materials. Raw materials can be checked for its suitability by instrumental methods, but at first stage, whether the material is acceptable or it should be rejected can be analyzed by sensory evaluation. The new product development or improvement in the existing product by modification or changing the ingredients can also be carried out using sensory evaluation. One can also compare a competitor's product by use of sensory evaluation. Industry can use sensory evaluation as one of the tool for cost reduction. Suppose one company want to bring down the cost of a product by substituting one costlier ingredient using a cheaper version. They can prepare products from both the ingredients and then compare it by sensory evaluation, and if the cheaper ingredient is suitable, they can cut the cost of a production. Sensory evaluation can also be used for monitoring quality control process. It can also detect difference between products from different runs or the same batch or from different batches. It is also used for selection of suitable packaging material for the product manufacture. Sensory evaluation can also be used to demonstrate the developed new product to the marketing team. since they do not have any idea about the product. The marketing people should know what the product is, and they can be served with a newly developed product, and their opinions can be used to devise a marketing strategy. It is also used to promote new or reformulated products to the consumers. During research of a new product development, the product shelf life studies are very important, and sensory evaluation is one of the parameters by which a shelf life of a product can be determined. Sensory evaluation is used for establishing analytical, instrumental, or sensory relationships as well. Sensory evaluation of dairy product is a very important aspect. One can detect any possible defect in dairy product through three methods. First method is chemical method, second method is microbial method, and third is sensory evaluation. To detect defect in dairy product, both the methods like chemical and microbial method involves use of certain chemicals, media, instruments, equipments, and other facilities are required. But sensory evaluation of product does not require any equipments. It is just by senses of human being, and it is very direct method and very cheap method to detect any defect present in dairy product. Now let us start our topic of a day, that is sensory evaluation of dairy products. Dairy product sensory evaluation includes the critical examination and interpretation of important sensory attributes of a given dairy product. Three different methods are available for tracing causes of sensory defects in dairy products. The first one is chemical procedures, in which different chemical methods or analytical methods are used to decide the deterioration in dairy or food product. The second method is microbiological test, in which spoilage organisms and their levels are detected in product during storage studies, and we can decide whether the product is safe for consumption or not. And third and very important criteria is sensory evaluation of a dairy or food product. Sensory evaluation of product is a simplest, most rapid and direct approach. It does not require any sophistication, analytical methods or instruments. It is just based on the senses of human. Correct diagnosis of type and causes of sensory defect is a prerequisite to application of remedial measures in production, processing and distribution stages. Judging and grading of dairy products normally involve assigning quality scores to products by one or two trained experts. So the experts are given a scorecard with a numerical score, in which they give their responses regarding the product served, and decisions are taken whether that product is good or it is not good or at par as per the prescribed requirements. Attributes scored include appearance, flavor and texture based on the presence or absence of a predetermined defects. The Bureau of Indian Standards has specified guidelines for judging and grading of some dairy products. The sensory evaluation of dairy products has become an important research component in the development of new products and process. Sensory attributes of food products can be either intrinsic or extrinsic. Intrinsic attributes are concrete product characteristics that can be perceived by a consumer and in many situations can serve as quality cue that can be observed without actual consumption or use, such as color of a product, appearance of a product. It is related to the appearance, color, shape, size and structure, all of them extremely important for milk products. If the product is not looking good, the consumers will reject them at once. So intrinsic attributes are always related to the physical aspects of the product. The extrinsic quality parameters refer to product characteristics that are used to evaluate a product but are not physically part of it, such as price, brand, production and nutritional information on package, packaging design, country of origin, store and convenience. Now, there are various senses by which we can judge quality of a product. So it is very important to understand the role of primary senses in judging of dairy foods or dairy products. The sensory properties of dairy products are mainly related to flavor, body and texture, color and appearance, and all these parameters will give us overall or total scores by which we can compare or we can judge two or more than two products which are subjected to the experts which are trained in sensory evaluation. These properties of foods are perceived through human senses. The main senses involved in sensory perception are sight by use of eyes, smell which involves use of nose, then taste which is very important in palatability of product that can be perceived by tongue, touch that can be perceived by our fingers or skin, and sound which is perceived by our ears. Humans possess and utilize 5 primary senses for perceiving stimuli, that is sight, hearing, touch, taste and smell. Of these human senses, taste, smell and chemical or pain senses respond to chemical stimuli, with taste and smell considered to be the most primitive. Other human senses include temperature sensation, that is whether product is hot or cold, pain, visceral hunger, thirst, fatigue and balance. Now let us discuss the important sensory evaluation senses, starting with sight. The characteristic of a dairy product that can be evaluated by sense of sight are neatness and cleanliness of package and finish. As soon as we receive any product for consumption, we look for its package condition. The package should be neat and clean, without any openings and without any damage on the seals. Protection afforded by seal of pouch or bottle closure gives idea about the wholesomeness of that product. If the package is broken, then someone may think that this product is adulterated or it is used by someone else, and other feelings may come. So just by sight one can look that whether the product is wholesome or not. It has relatively low numerical rating on the scorecard, but even though it is very important. Sight as a sensory parameter is used to correlate defects in visible items with flavor. Now second sense is smell or aroma. This sense plays paramount role in evaluation of quality of dairy products. The role of olfactory perception is greater in overall flavor than the taste. Milk and dairy products are smelled for aroma perception immediately after the opening of closure or package and earlier than the taste. So when we call flavor, flavor is a combination of aroma and taste. So as soon as we take any product, first we feel aroma through nose and then the product is tasted through our tongue, and overall perception of aroma and taste gives us flavor. Third important sense is taste. It is a companion sense with aroma in establishing the overall flavor of dairy products. There are four fundamental tastes, which are sweet, sour, salty, and bitter, which are of paramount importance in sensory evaluation of any food product. With very few exceptions, the food product must be tasted. The role of taste is more complex as tasting also involves tactual and olfactory sensations. As soon as we take any product in our mouth, the product is perceived in our mouth through our tongue, through our teeth, through our gums, and some of the volatile compounds which are transferred through our mouth to our olfactory region and which will give perception about aroma. The last one is touch. The tactual and mouthfeel play an important role in examining the body and texture characteristics. Pressure between teeth determines the presence of undissolved salt in butter or of crystallized lactose in sweetened condensed milk. Fingertip and thumb may be used to find out organs of mouth. Fingers play important role in examining body and texture of butter and cheese. Ease and difficulty in chewing, rolling, dissolving the food is recorded by tongue and or floor and roof of our palate. The sound is used sometimes in judging of dairy and food products, although it is not widely used in dairy and food products judging. The evaluator can detect the presence of ice crystals while drawing an ice cream sample with a spoon. The relative size and distribution of holes in Swiss cheeses can be felt by the gentle tapping of the outside of a cheese. In case of Swiss cheese manufacturing, eye formation is a very important step and it requires an expertise to detect whether the eyes have formed inside the cheese block or not. And the detection of these type of eyes require gentle tapping on the surface of the cheese rind. So till now we have studied different aspects of sensory evaluation, and to conclude we can say that sensory evaluation is a science which involves use of senses such as sight, smell, hearing, taste, touch, sometimes temperature. Sensing of temperature is very important. The product should be served chilled, and if it is not served chilled, people may think that this product is not wholesome. Some malpractices have been done during serving the product and likewise. So the science behind sensory evaluation is very important, not only to decide its palatability but also to decide its quality, wholesomeness and nutritional aspects as well. Dear students, to conclude this chapter, we can say that sensory evaluation is a science and which plays very pivotal role in deciding characteristics of dairy and food products. Characteristics could be good or bad. Whenever we want to design a new product, certain characteristics are very important and they are present in that food product, and people are buying that food product because of those required characteristics. And sometimes if the product is going deteriorative, certain changes will help us to decide whether the product is still good for consumption or not. So to decide the degree of defect in dairy or food product, again sensory evaluation plays a very important role. There are certain senses which are used to detect good characteristics or defects in food products or dairy products are sense, smell, sight, touch and sound. All these senses will give us overall quality of a food and dairy products which will be perceived by consumers and the palatability of products will be decided, and palatability will ultimately decide marketing characteristics, market portfolio, marketing strategies, and overall profit to the organization. Thank you.